Now, in all these years, we've seen some amazing games pass by from all kinds of different developers. However, there were some that sold so many copies that it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it. One of those was New Super Mario Bros., a game that was sold more than 31 million times, which puts it at number 10 of the best-selling video games in human history. However, does it even deserve this? Was New Super Mario Bros. Really that good? And were the sales legit and not inflated? Well, let's find out. First off, how were these sales even achieved? What happened when this game came out? Because 31 million is bonkers! Well, Nintendo announced on February 21st, 2006 that New Super Mario Bros. Would launch for the Nintendo DS on May 7, 2006. Similar to other side-scrolling Mario games, New Super Mario Bros. Follows Mario as he fights his way through Bowser's henchmen to rescue Princess Peach. While traveling through 8 worlds with a total of 80 levels, Mario must defeat Bowser Jr. and Bowser before finally saving his princess. The game was a commercial success and received positive reviews. Praise went towards its improvements made to the Mario franchise, while criticism was targeted at its simplicity and similarity to previous games. And this success led to a line of sequels released for the Wii, 3DS, Wii U, and even Nintendo Switch. By the time it was out, the new dual-screen handheld console had already hit the market, so it didn't get a lot of sales from the launch of that console. There were some bundle packs where you would get the new 2D Mario game together with a DS, but it was actually something else that helped it along, a new version of the console that was hitting the market. The game's release date was eventually pushed back slightly to May 15, because Nintendo planned to release it around the same time the Nintendo DS Lite launched on June 11, 2006. This probably helped with its sales. This console was doing quite well at the time and even became one of the best-selling video game consoles in the world's history. However, there's more to it all, because there was another thing that certainly helped with moving the new product: supply and demand. Now let me explain what I mean by this. For the last couple of years before New Super Mario Bros. Came out, Nintendo was focusing on a lot of 3D games. Think of titles like Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and more. But when it came to 2D, there was absolutely nothing. New Super Mario Bros. Was actually the first 2D platform game to star Mario since Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins in 1992. There was no supply for these kind of games at all. But when they released this new one, the gap of 2D games was finally filled, and the old-time fans finally got what they wanted. New Super Mario Bros. Was the supply for the apparently insane demand for good 2D side-scroller platformer games, and this also helped with its sales. And so, from the very start, the game did extremely well, selling over 480,000 units in Japan on day 1 and 900,000 copies in the first 4 days. At the time, it was the best-selling debut for a Nintendo DS game in Japan, but has since been surpassed by Pokémon Diamond and Pearl. Worldwide sales have steadily increased throughout the years, with 5 million copies by April 2008, 18 million by March 2009, and 30.8 million by March 2016, making it the best-selling game for the Nintendo DS and one of the best-selling video games of all time. Another insane little fact is that it went so fast in America that they sold an estimated 20 copies every single minute. Now, aside from all of this, the game must have been really good as well, because it continued to sell like crazy. So let's look at the game itself now to see if it really deserved this amount of sales. First, the graphics and style. Now, compared to other games on the console and even the competitor from PlayStation known as the PSP, it did quite well. Because while the game would be played in 2D, it still used 3D models to create a 2.5D look and feel. And these new 3D graphics in this game rivaled other titles of the time like GTA Vice City Stories. So back then, it was quite graphically advanced for a handheld game, which were even more limited back then. And in terms of style, it even expanded upon the older ones in some ways, while also recreating the feeling of the original Mario games. So its graphics and style were certainly spot on and high quality for the year 2006. But what about gameplay? Nintendo always says that they care more about fun and an interesting experience than pixels. But when it comes to this, the game offers quite a lot and was a breath of fresh air. Now in time, this went downhill with the other new Super Mario Bros. Titles, but when it came to this game, it still had that magic touch. The gameplay is very much like that of the classic 2D platformers, mostly Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3, and builds upon them to create gameplay both classic and new. An example of this is even seen in World 4-6, where we get quite a different and new type of experience for these kinds of games. Here you come across a jungle type level where the water is actually purple poison, and in order to get across you have to ride a dory. This turns into a bit of an auto-scroller level with small segments in between, where you go onto little islands. Something new for the 2D games, which is a lot of fun to go through, so it certainly creates new things as well. The bosses are also a great example of this. Here you will see a lot of new ones that were never seen before, like Bowser Jr., who's even incredibly important to the plot. And all of them have quite fun mechanics as well, but there are more than enough things from the old titles still in this game, like the general level layout with the flagpole at the end of it. And just like the older titles, the game features a world map with alternative and secret paths, as well as collectibles. Just like in Super Mario World, there is certainly a good yin and yang balance in this game when it comes to old and new stuff. Thanks to this, both younger players who never got to experience those classics and the people who did were interested in this game. They managed to create an experience that was appealing to both the new generation and the old school Nintendo fans. However, was this game worth the price then? Is there enough content in it that most people who would get it wouldn't be disappointed? Well, there's loads. With a total of 80 levels and 8 worlds and even collectibles in all of them, there's quite a lot to do in the game. As a single-player experience, this game certainly ticks all the boxes and offers hours of fun and even replayability to an extent. But it doesn't end there, because it also has multiplayer now that it's possible thanks to the DS, like the Mario vs. Luigi mode. Here, the two compete for a number of big stars while running through a level, which is a thing you can do with a friend. The game also features a selection of minigames, most of which are the same from Super Mario 64 DS, but there are also some new ones. And as you could have guessed, it also features the option to either play several single-player minigames or play several multiplayer minigames. So it offers a lot of different things you can do, and even a little bit of multiplayer so you can even let your friends join in on the fun. But does it truly deserve the amount of sales that it has? Well, yes and no. While it is really good, it was certainly fueled by the absence of 2D side-scroller platformers and the success of the Nintendo DS. Personally, I think Super Mario World is still the better game, and as this new Super Mario Bros. Series went on, it became quite stale and predictable. However, it's not a bad game, and certainly left behind a legacy. Hey you there, before you go, click that subscribe button and the bell button. YouTube is being stupid and not sending notifications to subs that well. So please click the bell button, then you won't miss anything, hopefully. Also, watch other videos if you want, that would make me very happy. I put hours upon hours in this every week.